Hey guys, welcome back. I'm super excited for this video because I'm going to be breaking down exactly how you can start your own coaching business in 2026. And we're going to be breaking down exactly how we've done this for clients and how you can do it yourself too. And so it's the same exact system, the same exact steps, the same exact team that we've used when we scaled Ryan to his 15K a month with his coaching business in his first month ever coaching. Just for context, he was a sales coach, but the same thing applies for every single industry, whether it's real estate, whether it's coaching in a service-based business, whether it's ads, whether it's AI, pretty much any industry you can think of. When you have that value, you've done well, you actually have some sort of success, even if it's fitness or something else, and you're ready to teach someone else. This is exactly how you do it without messing up, without failing. And so in this video, we'll cover everything from the sales system that you need to the marketing and client acquisition systems that you're going to need, all the way to the fulfillment, the delivery, and how to actually retain those clients as well. So you can actually make as much money as possible and also create the most impact, change as many people's lives as possible. And so let's jump into that. As you can see here, the very first thing that we're going to do and focus on, go over, is why most coaching businesses fail before they even start. And trust me when I say this, there's so many coaches out there that maybe they had a viral video, maybe they want to do good and they want to help other people, or maybe they're just trying to make, a quick bag. They're trying to get rich quick, and that's like their intention in the first place. But it really comes down to one of these four things, right? And so the first one will be fulfillment. This could be a couple of things, but pretty much the most common one is just overthinking it, right? Overthinking, trying to have like this perfect product in place before getting started. And the thing is, it doesn't need to be perfect. If you can help someone get and achieve the result that you're promising them, right? And you don't have to be perfect again, but if you're a few steps ahead and you can help someone get that outcome, that is good enough. It'll actually get better as you get more clients, as you continue to scale. There's no way you'll never be able to make a perfect product until you have that data. So start without being perfect, and that's how you'll perfect it. The next thing is sales, right? And so when it comes to sales, maybe you go viral, you have a lot of leads that come through, or maybe you're thinking about making more content or even running ads, things like that. But you don't know sales, or you don't have a proper sales team in place. You don't have a proper sales process. This is where people have millions of followers. And I literally mean that, right? 1 million followers, hundreds of thousands of followers, thousands of followers, and can't close a single deal, can't close or sign a single client. Even though their clients love them, or not clients, but their followers, right? Their audience loves them, they can't even close one. And that's insane. This is pretty much half of a business, quarter of a business is sales. And so make sure you have that down. The next thing is marketing. You can't have a business, without clients, without leads. And so marketing, whether you go, the paid ads route, whether you go the organic route, this is extremely key again, because if you don't have that, you do not have a business. And then last but not least, right, is you provide no real value. Because believe it or not, you can do all of these things, right? Except for this one, really. You can have amazing sales, you can have amazing marketing. But if when people get inside, you provide no real value, your reputation is the only thing that you can't fix out of these two. You can always fix your sales, you can always fix your marketing, but your reputation is probably the hardest thing to fix, right? And that's why it's so important. Make sure that you're providing value. Don't be a scammer, and you will actually be able to make this work, right? Amongst with these other things. First off too is, who am I, right? Who am I? This guy talking on screen, whether you've been following me or you just found this video. So my name is Damien. What I do is I help coaches to change lives and make more money, right? Whether they're starting off or they're scaling their coaching business. That's what me and my team do. And I've been doing it for a while. We're really good at it. I always, I could show you all types of different clients, testimonials, but I always like to show Ryan, right? He's something realistic, not over promising, but he scaled to 15K a month in his first month ever coaching, right? That is extremely rare, with also under 500 followers and 0 paid traffic, purely organic. That is unheard of. We were able to do that for him, change his life. He got his dream car, got his dream high rise. And he's killing it. And so that's great. Just so we're not complete total strangers, The next thing though is choosing a profitable niche. Let's get into the value. Let's unpack how do we actually do this. And so this right here is key, right? It could just like any other business, this is extremely important, is who is your ICP? Who is your ideal client profile? Easiest and most simplest way to put that is who you help, right? And so if you're a fitness coach or you want to be a fitness coach and you used to be, fat, overweight, obese, and now you got shredded or now you're in shape, the easiest person you can help is people in your position where you were a year ago, 2 years ago, or however long before, right? If you're successful in real estate and now you want to coach people and help others get into real estate, the best person to help is the version of you 2-3 years ago or before you got into real estate, who maybe was making good money with their corporate job or their income, but they wanted to invest, they wanted to take that risk, they wanted to build that, right? Plug it in your own thing, but you need to get extremely clear on who do you actually help. That's number one. Choose the best person you can provide value to, the best type of person, and that's the person you want to coach, right? The next thing is your niche. And so where you provide value, this is getting a little bit more specific, right? Because I know people, they have very niche offers, right? It's like helping South Asian women lose 20 pounds in 90 days, right? You see how niche that is versus helping people lose weight, right? You choose a niche, you choose a market, and you get very specific. Same thing with like trading or real estate. Let's say trading, for an example, to use a different one, is you can have, oh yeah, I help people make money with training, or you can say I help beginner traders actually achieve their first ever profitable month and get their first payout in a month, right? Whatever that is, the more niche you can get, you want to know who you can help, and then you also want to get specific in that so you can actually provide that value. If you're too broad, you're not going to stand out, right? It's going to be very difficult because there's hundreds of other coaches competing with you. Now, the next thing, once you have that and you have a clear understanding, and don't rush through these things, please, like take your time, because you might actually be surprised. You might be surprised with what you thought you were going to do before, who you thought you were going to help before, how you were going to do that. And then by the end of this, you realize, okay, wow, I wasn't expecting this, but this is way better. This is way more aligned. And you see yourself doing that. Now, the next thing is creating an irresistible high ticket offer. I'm a huge advocate of high ticket, right? That's what we talk about here, is high ticket coaching, because it's the easiest way to actually make money and actually run a business like this. I'm not saying that low ticket or mid ticket doesn't work, right? Meaning more affordable options like a community or like a small monthly subscription. Those do great, right? I know businesses and clients that do those very, very well. But honestly, it's best to, if you're trying to build a real business, start with high ticket, because whatever your income goal, it only takes a few clients to actually get there, right? If you're trying to get a 50K a month for 5K clients, 5K program, 5K coaching, you only need 10 clients a month, right? If you're trying to get to 10K a month just starting off, that's even easier. You just need 2 clients and you're already there. Okay. Now, what does this look like though? High ticket offer, an irresistible offer. The very first thing is you want a dream outcome. And so again, the easiest way to do this, just think about that version of you from a couple years ago, or before you got your dream outcome, before you've achieved the level of success that you want to help others to. That right there is going to be the dream outcome. What have you achieved? And that's what others want to achieve as well. And so again, right, if we bring it to fitness, let's say you went through a massive transformation and you lost like 50 pounds. If you know you can actually help other people do that, then that right there is that dream outcome, to lose 50 pounds, right? Or get shredded. If it's, I'll use something different this time, maybe like a dating coach, right? Then let's say you found your love of your life, or you had like an X amount of dates. You started dating or had successful dates or found love or somewhat of love within like a year, right? Or 6 months, then boom, that could be something. Find your love or find your match, right? That's a dream outcome. You get the point. Fill in the blank there for you. The next thing is the likelihood. And so the easiest way to do this is to actually, put not just that it's just, oh yeah, I'll help you do this, but back it up with a format, back it up with a system, back it up with a method, right? Traders, they do this a lot. They'll call it their models, right? Is like, oh yeah, I trade using this person's model. I trade using this person's model. Or I know one trader, he calls his the motion model, right? And so he says, okay, yeah, get your first payout or become profitable or make X amount with the motion model. And so what that does, it just increases that likelihood of showing that it's something that is proven, right? It's something that's a system. It's something that you actually do for your clients, right? And it gives that certainty. The next thing is time. Time is huge. People don't just want a outcome, because most people, they know they can get an outcome, but they're willing to pay for the time it takes to get there. They're willing to pay for the shortcut. And so this is huge. If you can put like in 30 days or in 90 days or in a certain amount of time, this will drastically improve the desire that your offer actually creates. Okay, that was pretty simple. The next one is effort. And so if you put it simply, right, this is basically saying, like, if we use that same trading example, yeah, I'll help you to get your first payout, right, with the motion model in 30 days, right, without having to use your own capital or something like that, right? Whatever the thing that they don't want or they want to avoid, right? If they're like scaling your personal brand without, or scaling their business without using ads or spending thousands on ads. Let's say you're helping them to start a cleaning business without having to hire 10 different people. Whatever the thing is to minimize the effort. You want to show them that it's actually doable and there's not too much work on their end, because again, that's what they're paying you for, is that shortcut. Okay, and then last but not least, too, is a risk reversal. This one is kind of a bonus, right? In general, if you do these four, you already have a very irresistible and high ticket offer. But a risk reversal really just nails into the coffin, and it's totally optional. I will say that, because sometimes it might help for your offer, for your niche, for your market. Sometimes it might not. So really keep that in mind. The reason why is because when you use a risk reversal, you put like a guarantee, or or you don't pay, or like pay per close or something type like that. What you'll do is you'll attract people who, sure, a lot of people will be serious, but in there will also be people who are looking for that certainty. They're not willing to take a risk on themselves, right? They're very anti-risk, and usually those aren't the best types of clients, right? And so again, I'm not saying that it's bad. It's actually really good if it does work in your market. And usually it's just a matter of finding the right risk reversal, where it gives someone enough certainty to be interested and take that step to talk with you more, but you're also not making some crazy claim that only lazy or unserious people are going to be attracted to. And by the way, right, if you have any questions on this, pretty much every topic we're going to be covering in here, you can go ahead and get a deeper understanding. There's always going to be another video here on the channel diving deeper, but also feel free to leave comments too, at any point down on the YouTube video, and I'll be happy to answer. I read those myself. Also shoot over a DM too if you want, right? DMs are always open as long as you have actually good questions, right? Don't ask anything stupid, but if you are looking for that help, then those are open up. Now, next thing, right? And I hope we're tracking here. By now, we should be able to know who we help, right? We should be able to know our offer is, how we're gonna help them, right? What are we gonna do for them? Now, the next thing is the social media strategy. And I don't care if you're going just straight cold paid ads route, because we have clients who that's what we've done for them. Or if you're going fully organic, meaning your whole audience, your presence, you don't get them from ads, you get them solely off social media. Now, either way, I'm a huge advocate of both, right? If you start with one and then the other, okay, cool, that's fine. But really, those $1 million offers, and maybe even if you're not trying to make $1 million a month, but what I'm saying is the best results, you want to actually include both. And it's a test of those things. And so when it comes to the social media strategy, for Instagram, that's what we're going to use for our short form. TikTok works, Facebook works, right? Reels, anything with short form on it, those do work. But Instagram, by far, in the coaching space, is the best place to build your business, depending, of course, on like where your audience lives. Now, if your audience is older folk, or maybe they live more on Facebook, and then cool, that can work as well. But overall, Instagram is kind of like the best balance between the two. And so I always offer Instagram. TikTok, you'll get a very, very poor quality leads, because without going into detail, TikTok people have a bad rep. That's why you have the term like TikTok brain. People are just doom scrolling on there. they're usually not the best types of people to work with, but you can always redirect them. So looking at this, right, these right here are actually pinned reels. And so I'll use myself as an example, but this right here, I want you to take away this for your social media strategy is every single piece of content that you should post should be providing one of these three things, doing or accomplishing one of these three things: relatability, authority, and trust. A really easy way to remember that is RAP. Right? I call it the RAP method. And so let me put that there, that I can trademark it before someone takes it. The RAP method, right? And so relatability, authority, and trust, these are the three things that you need in your content for someone to actually take the step to buy, okay, for a proper buyout to come through. And so relatability, right? In this case, I have my story video. This is where I'm opening up. I'm talking about who I am, why I do the business model I do, and what my, what my intentions are, like why did it stand out for me? What's different about me? What would make someone want to work with me? This is also where you can see a bunch of like those mindset videos where people are just talking with just straight to the camera, maybe over music or something. And they're being very vulnerable, they're being very honest, or they're just giving their takes on things. They're giving their opinions. A really big thing when it comes to building your personal brand is it's a personal brand, right? It's about you. And so, yes, you can use data and look at different formats and everything. And of course, recreate them for yourself. But always remember, you need to have that aspect too, because people buy from people they trust, right? People that they view as an authority, but also people that they like, people that they can relate to, especially in coaching. The next thing is authority. And so this is where you post value videos, things that would actually benefit your ICP, benefit your audience. And so let's take a brand new one. If we go like a coach in the, let's see, sales space, right? A coach in the sales space. What does that look like for value videos? What video actually provides value to sales reps or people who want to get into sales is you would post sales tips. You would post sales call recordings. You would post videos of you breaking down and giving actual practical tips that someone can use your free content and actually take away and either, have some success with it or get closer to their goal. Right, I'll give another one. If let's say like you're a barber coach, right? Those are really good actually. And so you're helping other barbers to scale their business. Cool. Make content that provides value and actually would help your potential barber clients, the people that follow you, the people that would buy from you eventually, right? That's what you want to do. And kind of as a byproduct of that, you're establishing authority. Because they realize, okay, I'm watching this person, they hit follow, and they're coming to you for value. Psychologically, you've created yourself as an authority figure to them. And this is important because not only do people buy from people they like, but they buy from people they respect. Okay. Now, last but not least too, is trust. And this is huge. Trust is huge. If you don't have testimonials, right, make sure you get testimonials. That first client that comes in, make sure you get that, because people are gonna, like you, they're gonna relate to you, they can see your value, right? But if they don't believe that you can get them that outcome, right? If they don't trust that they can do it if they work with you, you can get away with it. And of course you have to, starting off when you have 0 testimonials. But the best thing is you are your first testimonial. I have a video on that. You can go watch that on the channel as well. But point being, make sure you post content that highlights your case studies, that highlights your students, that highlights your clients and the people that you've helped. This gets really good when you have clients that have a certain story and you can send them a video from a client that you helped with the exact same story, right? It really makes a difference. Now, when we talk about YouTube, and these are my favorites, is running the Instagram and YouTube combo. If you have those two, you absolutely print with your coaching business. It's really all you need. And so when it comes to long form, when it comes to YouTube, same exact things, right? Relatability, that's vlog videos, right? It could also be those mindset videos, but being able for someone to spend that time with you and feel like they're almost a part of it, or they're in that room with you, or they're tagging along and see, right, things that you like, see things that you don't like, right? It's very important that you have these values, you have these opinions that maybe not everyone is gonna agree with, and that's okay. But for those that do, they're going to draw a lot closer to you. They're going to build that trust and that relatability with you. Vlogs are a really great way of doing this, right? And then again, next thing is authority. And so this is, again, just using myself as an example. We're posting those YouTube videos where, we're providing that value. We're providing things that you can use as a coach, whether you're starting off or whether you're scaling on your own coaching business, right? In hopes, right, and knowing really that at some point you're going to see, wow, this free content has made us a lot of money. I see this guy as an authority figure. I know how much he's helped already, and eventually coming and paying us, right? And that's exactly what authority and this is for. You know what you're talking about, right? And you're actually helping people even in your free content. And then again, last but not least is the trust. And so this is kind of like a funny thumbnail, but if you go and check out that video, that's a testimony of us breaking down exactly how we helped Ryan, what his process was like working with us, and showing, again, building that trust. And for those who relate, that's really gonna go along. Okay, and that brings us to the next thing, is number 6, the client acquisition system. And so kind of like I talked about earlier, there's really 2 ways to go about this, right? You either go organic, and these are things like a DM funnel, story call to action, YouTube, even like a book a call or webinars that do really, really well, are crushing it right now. Those all work. Those are all amazing, right? And you can actually do a couple of them. You can do DM along with stories. You should always be doing those. You can also do webinar and also YouTube, of course. Usually, really, it's a mixture of all of them, and knowing when to focus on one, and really dial into that. The next thing is paid. And again, right, this is a VSL call, webinar, lead magnet, or resource. There's a lot of different paid ones you can do. Paid is huge because that is ultimately how you're going to scale, right? These $1 million a month offers, they're doing both. They're not only doing organic, they're doing organic and paid. And so I always tell you, right, you want to do organic, you want to do those funnels so you can have that presence, you can build that trust, you can have that brand, but you also want paid too, so that you can run your business with, maybe you don't have the biggest following, especially if you're just starting out, maybe you don't have a big audience to sell to already, but that's where that pay to win aspect comes in. And if you can, I promise you, if you can dial in a paid ads coaching business, as you build your following, as you continue to post content, as that organic comes in, it's going to be so easy to grow it, because it's a lot easier to sell to organic than it is to paid, right? But again, both of them are needed at scale. And so you have those 2 options. Do both of them, right? If you already have a really big organic following, sure, lean into that, start getting some sales going and everything. If you want to really hypercharge that, put paid on top of that. If you have 0 organic, right, you're just starting off, or you're building an account, right, you don't have that many followers and an audience, then that's fine. You can run what you have for now, right? Set up something like a DM funnel, post some stories here and there, post some stories here and there, post some stories here and there. And then when it comes to the paid, that can be your main source, right? It's going to take a lot of optimizing. It's going to take a lot of testing, but that's where offers really scale. That's where coaching businesses really scale. And that's how you're going to be able to sell to someone who just met you, but you built so much trust, and and they're paying you $5K to $10K and even more, right, in a couple of days of finding you. And so number 7, this is the sales psychology and closing high ticket clients, right? And so the first half of this is actually sales process, right? What is this? Is understanding how sales works. So like I told you, one of the biggest reasons from the very beginning is why coaching businesses fail is because they don't have a proper sales process, right? They have the leads, they have them coming in, but they don't know what financial qualifications are. They don't know what a proper setting call looks like. They don't know how a closing call should look like, how you get the contracts in place right after payment, right? What kind of payment processors to use? How soon are you hitting them up when they opt in? How soon are you reaching out to them when they opt in? And even how many touch points do they have from the moment they find you to booking a call, right, to confirming that call, all the way to showing up to that call and so forth, right? Is a really big reason why you can, again, have the best marketing, but if you don't have a proper sales system in place, it's going to be really hard to make money. You'll make some money, again, I won't say you won't, but it's going to be really difficult, especially at scale. The other thing is the automations, the follow-up systems. There's a really good affordable program that you can use. There's other ones out there too, like ClickFunnels, a lot of other ones out there. High level is honestly kind of like your all-in-ones. Amazing. That's what we use. Everything from like automations, those follow-up systems that I talked about, everything that's really needed to close these high ticket clients, because you have to understand, they're not just going to buy from you or pay you because they want to, right? No one wants to spend 5K. No one wants to spend 10K, right? It's a decision. It's an investment for them. You have to realize that. And that's where all of this comes in to how do we take that customer, or how do we take that potential customer, potential client, all the way through that journey up until the point of buy. Okay, and you'll learn things along the way, but that is huge. All right, I hope you guys are tracking. The next thing is delivery, retention, and turning clients into case studies. So what this looks like, again, that fulfillment that we talked about from the very beginning, this is where you get granular, and you say, how do you help these people, right? What is the model that you use? What is the system that you use? And most importantly, right, like what kind of deliverables are there? Is it coaching calls like 3 times a week? Is it one-on-ones once a week or more? Is it mostly a course and modules that they go through? Is there other resources too that you include to help them land their first client if it's a business coaching, to be able to, or even like the SOPs to bring in, or like the what is included, right? What is that fulfillment? What are the deliverables that you're actually providing for them to get that dream outcome or whatever outcome that you're selling to them? Okay. That's very clear. And so everything, yeah, again, coaching calls, community, what is actually included. The next thing, these go exactly hand in hand. So I won't repeat that. It's the same exact thing, is fulfillment, how you get them there. Now LTV, if you don't know what that is, that's a lifetime value. And you always want to work on maximizing the lifetime value in a customer. Now, this is where I say those low ticket, mid ticket, and high tickets are very important. They all work together. They all make really good money. When you have like a high ticket, it's easiest to make the most money, and you're going to be able to bring in other ways to sell them. So let's say they're successful, they're happy with the result. How do you maximize their lifetime value? First off, with them, you can provide a continuation service, right? You can provide additional support. You can extend their program, or you can even sell them an alternative course, right? Maybe something you're working on for your successful clients. And those could be low ticket, those could be mid ticket, or those can be high ticket. Believe it or not, when you have a client and you genuinely provide them with results and you change their life, or you help them to accomplish their goal, they will want to stay with you. They will want to stay connected. They will be willing to buy your next thing. And so that's, people will easily pay to stay in a part of your community, whether that be, again, like a low ticket subscription, mid ticket, you get the point. But that's not the only way you increase that. On top of that, you get referrals and testimonials from them, which is huge for a business because they're the easiest, lowest hanging fruit, right? Let's say you help someone, right? They're super happy. Boom, you can sell them into the next program that maybe you're working on, or even like a smaller community. But on top of that, you ask them, hey, I'm really glad we were able to help you. Do you know anyone that would be looking for this help as well, right? Hey, I'm glad you got your first property. Who else do you know like that would really enjoy or is trying to get into real estate, right? Whatever it is, right? Or if you lost weight, what other fat friends do you have that are serious about getting in shape? And so referrals is really good. That's an easy way to bring extra money into the business. But on top of that, testimonials too, because these will unknowingly for you bring more people to the business, because again, you stack those up and now there's a story for every single person who comes your way. Okay. When this is big, because one day you might be selling to a single mom of 3, the next day you might be selling to a college dropout, and everything in between, right? And so having those specific testimonials, those stories, again, just shows people it's really possible for them because you've helped, someone almost just like them. Now, if you haven't realized at this point, this is not a one-man show, right? Or one-woman show. This is not a one-person business. That is the dangerous place and trap where coaches get stuck, right? Because they think, oh, well, I already have a following, or maybe they don't, and they think, they're smart. Maybe they've, if you're being a coach or you're considering being a coach, then to some level you're successful, whether that be in fitness, business, faith, dating, whatever it is, what kind of coach you are. And so it's easy for us, especially as entrepreneurs, to think, oh, well, I've done this, I can do this too. Oh yeah, I could do this. There's nothing I can't do. I figured this out. I can figure this out. Don't make that mistake. Don't do that to yourself. Have the systems, right? Scale, build a real business. You can screenshot these right here. But for a coaching business, as you scale, you don't have to hire all of these here all at once. But this is right here of a well-developed coaching business. The team members, right? The key members that you're going to need for your coaching business. And so what that looks like, I'll just run through these so you understand. First one, these aren't technically in order, but first one is going to be like your CSM and your coach, right? This is at scale, when it's not just you. You can't handle all of those clients. You have many clients coming in, and it's not fair to your clients where maybe they don't have as much access or you can't get them a result, right? Access and results are very different. That's what we're talking about, is if it starts to affect the fulfillment or the outcomes that you're providing for your client. That's when it's time to bring in a CSM or a coach. Someone, maybe it could be like your top student. That's usually what it is for different programs, different coaching businesses. But it could also be someone else who's just very well versed and is qualified to help people alongside you. The next things, and I'll talk about these together, is your setter and closer. Very simple. Your setter is a key part. Both of these, you need these two for your sales team. Setter, their job is, it's in the name, set appointments. And so leads come in, they ring them up, and they get them booked in for a call. Same thing with the closer, right? They're the ones that close those deals. And so usually they're hopping on a Google Meet or a Zoom meeting and, helping them overcome any fear, helping them see if you guys are actually a good fit, your business, your coaching, and them, and then closing those deals. Okay. The reason why I say this is because you can coach and you will get stuck coaching yourself forever if you make that mistake. You can appointment set. I'm sure you're capable of, handling a phone call, and you will get stuck there if you just keep doing that yourself. And even closing, right? You can believe that no one's better than closing. No one knows your business better than you. No one can answer the questions or talk to the person and relate to them like you can. And if you believe that, you are going to be miserable, because at scale, right, you're going to be the one stuck on those calls. And to be honest, unless you're a sales coach, 90% of people are actually going to be better at you than at sales if they're a closer, if they're a setter, if they do that for a living. And that's what they're good at. Now, next thing is a sales manager. These are really key important roles, but as you grow, right, you want to have someone that manages those people. Otherwise, you're going to be really preoccupied. You're going to be micromanaging. You're going to be working really close with your setters and closers. Not going to be good for them. They're going to start to dislike you, and you're going to start to dislike them because you'll be micromanaging. Not only that too, but just it's not worth your time. You have to understand, as a business owner, you need to stay in the highest leverage position that you can be for your business, because the business is only good as the business owner. And that's your job, right? So sales manager, same way, coach someone to fulfill and help with your clients. A sales manager is someone who can come in and actually keep those clients, or not clients, but those reps, setters and closers, those sales reps accountable, help them to improve, help them to collect more cash for you and your business, and make sure that the business ultimately grows. Now, the next thing is a media buyer. This is specific, again, to running ads. That's their sole purpose. Is there someone who understands the market? There's someone who understands your business. There's someone who understands how to run ads, what works, right? And they will run those ads. That's their sole purpose, to generate you more leads, to generate you more clients. And so pretty obvious, that's when you're needing more clients. You get that type of person. Again, not saying you can't run ads yourself. You can definitely try, even have a YouTube video breaking that down yourself. But it's really easy to burn money if you don't know what you're doing. And so again, stay in the most leveraged position. Now, these are really key too when it comes to the organic side, when it comes to the content, and not just content like organic in your social media too, but even in your funnels, right? Even in your marketing, all the way in your landing pages and everything, your websites. A creative director, an editor, and a copywriter, right? Which also can be a VA. Because the creative director, like I said before, you might believe you have the best ideas, right? You might have really good ideas. You come up with content, you know what your personal brand wants to look like, or how you want your business to look like, how you want to be perceived on social media, or what kind of videos you want to make, what goes viral. I'm not saying you don't. When someone's sole purpose and sole job though is to take that off your plate, right? That's what they do for a living, and they're skilled and talented in that. And it could take that mental real estate and give it back to you so you're not preoccupied on those types of things. Man, it's such a game changer, right? Do not look like that. Otherwise, you will be a miserable coach who you're running a business. Maybe you're even making good money, but you're driving yourself crazy. Editor works very closely with the creative director. This is one of like the first hires you should ever get. Make sure that way, editing is such a low leverage task when it comes to if you're the only one and you're doing it yourself. And so don't get stuck just editing yourself. Hire someone that does that for you. Copywriter, huge as well, right? You might try to use ChatGPT, AI, Claude even, right? To get all your copy, all your wording, all your messaging for your funnels, for everything really in your business. But again, someone whose job, leave it to them. I'll leave it there. VA. Some of these different things, usually VAs are for more like task-based things, right? Though for doing research, right? Or making lists, whatever those kind of like admin tasks are throughout your business, because you do not want to find yourself doing that again. You're the business owner. Find your throne and stay in it. Last but not least, right, is the actual identity shift required to win? And I could get really deep into this, right? But I've been harping on it even just before this. Make sure that you're the most leveraged position, right? You are your most powerful employee in your business, and you always will be, right? And so this is a real business. Don't think coaching is just like this get rich quick scheme. Don't think that you're just going to blow up, go viral overnight, make tons of money, and not be able to actually help people and get away with it, right? And don't think you can just do it yourself and, scale that way. You can do it. I'm not saying you can't be successful. I know people who do, but it only really goes so far, right? And so if you really want to take this serious, if you want to make impact, if you want to change lives, if you want to make money and build a real business with this, keep those things in mind. Use this, go back, take notes, right? Rewind and go through every single part that we talked about. And again, like I said, I have videos breaking down more in depth every single thing that we cover here. If you see something you want to go more in depth with, then let me know. Super happy to make videos. Also, give me a follow. Also, feel free to DM me, right? My Instagram is in the description. Any questions you guys have, any help you need, DMs are always open for you guys. And if you're serious, right? If you're a coach who's serious about actually being able to scale, actually being able to take this business far, whether you're starting or whether you're scaling, and you're looking for these people, right? You're looking for a team that can help you do that. You're not one to just try to muscle it out, right? Ego too big and do it yourself, right? You have vision, you have goals, you know exactly what that looks like, and you see it, you know the potential of you and your business, but you're not able to get there, whether you're running into maybe ads problem, organic problem, or you need that type of partner, you need that team for you that can help you scale. That's exactly what we do here, right? Me and my team, that's what we do. I'll leave a link in the description too. If you're serious about scaling, starting or scaling your coaching business, feel free, book a call there. Please, please, please though, only book a call if you're serious. I don't want to waste either of our times, popping on and just chit-chatting. This is business, let's make money together. Let's change lives together. But yeah, other than that, make sure you guys like this video, comment, subscribe, right, for the future videos. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. This was how to start your coaching business in 2026.